Uganda Family TV, News at 8.
The Legal Committee on Parliamentary Affairs, chaired by Honorable Stephen Mugabe Baka, met today with the various stakeholders, including the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, the Attorney General's Office, and the Ministry of Justice to discuss the Copyright and Neighbouring Rights Amendment Bill of 2025.
We have actually been considering this bill for the last 3 weeks, and today was supposed to be the last day. As you have seen, we invited the URSB and the Attorney General to try to meet the loose ends. But I told the clerk that no, with Mr. Kironda we must listen to him.
Questions arose regarding who should be held accountable for the ownership and the rights in content creation involving the generative AI. This sparkled a debate to propose 8 new provisions aimed at holding digital platforms accountable for AI-generated works. These measures are part of the broader efforts by regulators to ensure that platforms such as YouTube, Netflix, Spotify, and others contribute revenue to support the country's creative industries.
The bill currently assumes human authorship as the basis for copyright protection, but AI-generated works produced autonomously by algorithms challenge this assumption. Questions arise as to whether such works should be protected, and if so, who should hold the rights? The AI developer, the operator, or another party.
Legal scholars debated the fundamental changes needed in the copyright law in response to the rise of the generative AI technology. Modernization was strongly advocated to support the creative industries, particularly through the regulation of the digital platforms. The key focus areas included leveraging collecting societies and emerging technologies to better monetize intellectual property. Concerns were also raised about the cases where the local locus has been copyrighted by the foreign entities, leaving domestic creators without access to potential revenue opportunities.
The song goes viral. By the time I caught on the craze of this old man who was dancing with his son, I had no clue what was going on. Please forgive me, I am a bit behind on TikTok. But this, apparently in Times Square in New York, a video on TikTok goes viral. Think about what would have happened if there was a way for this gentleman and his father to earn revenue from TikTok. I think that's a much better and much neater way because A, I have created the work. B, it has gone viral. C, even when you take a fraction of that, whether we like it or not, it is a tax.
Professor Chiranda emphasized that the skill behind creativity is often undervalued by desires to negotiation and payment.
The soundtrack you hear, the music you hear before the guns start going off, that causes you to be anxious and sit on the edge of your seat, it takes genius to do that. And that person must get paid.
Professor Chiranda urged that the copyright is becoming obsolete due to the rise of generative AI, which diminishes the traditional concerns associated with copyright enforcement. While he agreed with the bill's title, he suggested that the scope of neighboring rights should be expanded to include skills such as prompt engineering, which are crucial in the AI context.
But as it is today world over, it is still the discipline of law as we know it, Copyright and Neighboring Rights Act. What changes is that the scope of the neighboring rights expands. If I frame the words that can cause AI to give me output, and full disclosure, a good amount of the content in this document was generated by AI. But one has to know how to use the tools to be able to get the kind of output that looks like quality. That's a skill. I believe that the title of the bill as it stands, Copyright and Neighboring Rights, in and of itself is appropriate, but what we must be careful to not miss out on is the fact that the scope of neighboring rights in and of themselves must expand.
These developments signal a significant shift in how intellectual property, creative rights, and digital transforms may be regulated as AI technology continues to evolve.